What's up, everybody? We back with another message, another video. Just a slight continuation on Twitch's case, because the dream that I had prior in the prior video is coming to pass, and I want to explain what what God warned the enemy would try to do and what was going to happen. Because a lot of people are distracted from the main purposes and points of Twitch's case. Y'all, a lot of people are not understanding this. A lot of YouTube videos going around that is saying a lot of different things and a lot of different methods being used, and we got to clear some things up. Okay? So number one, remember, everything in the spiritual world is a lot faster than in the physical world. So the enemy, the devil, he knows how to play the game. He knows how to run game on people, because people only see that stuff from the physical world, since that's what God tells you to look above instead of what's on earth, because you're going to get played for a fool, and I don't want nobody getting played for no fool. Now look, check it out. If you've been watching my videos, cool. If you haven't, go back and watch them. This is the recap you finna get. It ain't going to be the whole thing, because you're going to understand what I'm talking about if you go watch the other ones. But anyway, the main messages you need to be focusing on with Twitch's case is this: why Twitch got killed. At this point, we know it's too many details are off. All right? Now look, he knew too much and he spoke out. He kind of spoke in code in that last video. If y'all saw that last video I did, in the video, it was two reasons why he got killed. Black Lives Matter. He was getting too deep into the enemy's agenda with Black Lives Matter, and I'm gonna just kind of bust into that. Black Lives Matter is just another way to separate everybody. For an enemy to push his separation and division through the bodies of Christ, and just keeping people from each other, to push his hatred agenda, separation and division. You know, everything is spiritually led, so you got people on the cop side killing because the enemy using them, and that causes more people to be upset, hurting, hating. And then on the Black Lives Matter side, where that money go? To black trans communities, not the poor black people, but the black trans communities. Why? Because that's what the enemy is trying to push. He's pushing these agendas that are anti-Christ agendas, that go against God. Point blank, period. All right? I went over that in the last video, so this is just going to be brief. Now listen, when it comes to the Black Lives Matter side, there were riots and stuff, and people were literally stealing and destroying. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, cause damage. And the media was capturing both sides of negativity, and the enemy was playing both sides with the cops and BLM. And so the media would capture that, and they would cause just hatred. But they didn't capture the piece where the cops will put their shields down and weapons away and be hugging and shaking the protesters' hands and walking together, because it goes against the enemy's narrative. So Twitch wanted to, he was one of those people that was trying to bring everybody together. That would have went against the enemy's agenda and plot, and also trying to bring back cases of injustice for the victims that were taken out. And Breonna Taylor's case was one that was mentioned, and she had a suspicious case. The enemy did not want you exposing those secrets about what he's doing with these movements. Okay? Now, he was taken out, and God told me and let me know that he was trying to use Twitch to bring that peace and restoration. And he was such a peaceful man to do it. You talk to him, you know, listen to his interviews, you know, if you talk to him, you what you gonna be mad at him for, you know? He seemed like a really fun, cool, out of, you know, this world type of person. So it would have been, people would have listened. So now, the second reason he was killed was the idea of Baphomet, okay? And a lot of people try to call conspiracy on this one. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna show y'all the proof. A lot of people say proof. Let me show y'all some. If you ain't watched the last video, this is the main focus. Look, I'm gonna show y'all a video that he had put up. Here we go.
Dear Mr. President, do we have your attention yet? Like we, the people, we black people, we, your nation. And I'm not talking about the attention that you're paying with the tweets, and I'm not talking about that. It's helicopters flying above us right now. The attention that could potentially evoke feeling and emotion, sadness, anger, empathy, even spark imagination. Like, have you imagined what it would be like for your sons to be hunted down?
Hunted down.
The way that
our ancestors were hunted down. The way that people were hunted down.
Being killed in broad daylight.
There you go.
While the people taping felt powerless because all they could do is tape.
What you got to understand is Baphomet is a pagan idol, a satanic idol that the higher up celebrities, like big names like Ellen and them, be worshiping. They do sacrifices for it. Essentially the devil, okay? Satanic. But they do sacrifices for it, human sacrifices. And the main focus is, you know how children go missing like crazy and you can't find them. Like, it's the children. So the enemy in these last days are really after the children. He don't like no more people being here. He don't want no more of us being here. So they do a lot of bad things to children. That's why Anne Hesse was essentially taken out, because she was exposing sex trafficking for children. And that is essentially what this is that's about. And one of the things that Twitch said was that disconnected from the BLM message in that video was, he says, people that are taping are feeling powerless, people being killed in broad daylight. Okay. And he says, yeah, people that are taping are powerless, but if you tape, you have evidence. So that means that you would have power over cops. So he wasn't talking about the cops. He was talking about these cases with these children. People are contracted and can't say nothing, and they tape and they powerless. Because if they try to walk away, they're gonna look suspicious and then be killed. Once you see it, you see it. You under red fire. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to Baphomet, that is that idea. And so I want to bring y'all back to when Twitch said, "Dear Mr. President, do we have your attention, we the people?" This is Baphomet being in the White House. When people want proof, here you go in plain sight. I showed you in the last video. Look at the mirror. The mirror got Baphomet's head. I just showed y'all Baphomet. The mirror got Baphomet's head up right there. The Christmas decoration to take your eyes away visually from it, because that's all he like to do is distract and say, "Ha, they can't see it." The enemy. And then underneath the Baphomet's head is "We the people" behind the White House, and then civilians, showing that the enemy has control over the United States right now. Look at everything that's being put out there, and everything that's being proposed to and talked about, from abortion to gay rights, trans this. Literally, if you claim to be a Satanist, you get to have abortion rights, but it's sacrificing a child. What is abortion? You sacrifice what? Your kid as a decision. You sacrifice your child to have it done. That's what it is. And remember, children are gifts from God. So you're just, you going against what God's word is, and all these different agendas that are being pushed by this Antichrist spirit in the White House. Because that's not Joe Biden, y'all. That's another thing. Let me show you something. Here's another thing. Since everybody want to talk about conspiracy, we already covered Baphomet. Now look, two different people. Let me show you the real Biden.
president used his radio address yesterday and tomorrow in the Rose Garden to talk about a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage.
You know, think about this. The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here? And why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here? And
What's the game going on here? Exactly, Biden. What is the game going on here? People do need to wake up. Because why are people not talking about the fact that this is not even you? The one on the right look, heck, man, he look so demonic. Like he gonna lie to you right into your face. They don't even talk the same. And then people try to pull this dementia card. I'm like, dementia don't mean change your mind. Dementia mean forget. This man wasn't gonna forget nothing. He had a stance. He don't change his mind. It's hard to change older people's mind. That's what I said in the last video. This is what we need to be focusing on. This is the point of his message. And that Hunter Biden stuff and all this Twitter censorship stuff is being put out. The truth is being exposed. God told me the truth would be exposed. We got 2 different Bidens sitting up here, y'all. What do you think? Come on now. This is a big problem. And then you see Baphomet's head in the White House after Twitch's death, and like he just literally called out the president, quote unquote, Biden, for not paying attention to what's going on. He don't care because it's not him. It's the enemy. And he responded to Twitch with that Baphomet's head, and we the people at the bottom. Wake up and see it. Don't see things for the way the world trying to tell you. Stop looking at the media and the news. You need to look at the truth, because the media is going to lie to you. Point blank, period. Now, right now, everybody is focused on... See, the enemies are very, very clever, because right now, he knew that people were going to catch on. Y'all need to just hear this. He knew that people was going to catch on to what was going on. Okay? And so, he set up these mental traps for people to be distracted along the way as all this other stuff is happening in the world. Because guess what, y'all? People don't even know there's a false messiah by the name Yanuka in Israel right now, which is biblical prophecy for end times. We already in the end times.
Bible talks about this. The Bible warns about this. We've had other false people come and claim to be the Messiah and have a following, but this is different. It's actually happening in Israel. I believe they call this guy Yanuka or something to that effect. Apparently, he has memorized the Talmud and the Torah, and so because of that, as you see in these videos, they are clinging to this man, like following this man. And the Bible talks about this, but not only that. I want you to look at this clip where apparently, you know, they're throwing something in the fire, and then something came out of the fire, and they're taking it as a sign. So check this out.
People think they still got a whole bunch of time to get right and messing up whenever they choose to. That's the biggest lie the enemy can tell you. The enemy is distracting you from what really matters. Now, people are thinking about they still on watching videos and doing videos on who did it. Who did it? God already done told me who did it. Ellen and her team. Ellen and her team. Who was he contracted to? Ellen. Common sense. He was too happy to take his own life. A lot of people say, well, you know, a lot of people know I've talked to people that wanted to commit suicide. That is genuine sadness. They don't hide it like that well. I know what that sounds like. So, and then a lot of people, talk about who was that knocking on this door, whatever. It don't even, everybody's stuck on like different things on who did it. So the enemy set a trap. Once you figure out it's not a suicide, then you go, who did it? So now everybody for months trying to figure out who did it, while the enemy is advancing more and more and more in the spirit and distracting you and doing and pushing agendas while everybody's stuck on Twitch right now. Because do y'all notice on Twitter, it's literally stuff being exposed. So the enemy had to do something to distract you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Do you hear it? Are you listening? Or are you being selective and hearing? Okay, look. Then people start going to Ellen and Illuminati. Okay, that's brief. That's bold. We all know that that's a thing. If you don't, then y'all don't know. You need to wake up and get some spiritual glasses. Now, then people start pointing to his wife, and I'm gonna take y'all back to a dream because this is what the Lord warned me of, and this is why I'm on here right now. I had a dream 12/20/2022 at 7, and I woke up at 7 a.m. So the dream was I was seeing news headlines of Twitch on the TV, and I could tell they was false narratives. Like I was kind of irritated by it, and I saw people saying false things. Like I could literally tell. And you know what? God been trying to make His presence known to me in my dreams a lot more, because I knew somebody was on the left of me. He been on. That's the key. I don't know what that mean. Anybody? Because both my dreams, he was on the left of me, and I don't know what he trying to say. Left. We gonna left. Okay. Anybody catch it? I don't know, but I'm gonna have to ask him if that means something. But he was on the side of me. I know he was, because I could feel that presence. And then I saw somebody say on a YouTube comment in the dream, "Thank you for doing this for Twitch." So he was letting me know, like, you're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing when I put you on this, task to do, to spread the light on the dark. So then I asked questions because I already knew it was false narratives at this point. So I said, what did that mean? I'm not sure. And he says, false narratives will lead to the destruction of the truth. False narratives have led to the destruction of my word. So he's saying the enemy has given you giving people a mass piece of false, just everything to hide the truth. He says, in the dream, you felt something was off because it was on social media. I'll say, yep. He says, the enemy sets traps for the people, you the people. Now look, remember when I told you Twitch said, do we have your attention, Mr. President, we the people? And then Baphomet's head was up above that mirror, and underneath we the people in the White House. That was symbolism for, yeah, I heard you, Twitch. So then the Lord said, enemy sets traps for the people, you the people. He just connected that all together. So saying you the people are being given false narratives and lies, the Antichrist spirit, man. He says the real will be exposed, meaning he gonna put the real out there for the world to see, and the fake will be exposed. So with this case, we gonna get into that in a minute, and I'm gonna mention some things because I feel it's important for people's safety as far as what you're listening to. He says many are using spirit to blame Twitch's wife. So if y'all see people using certain methods like astrology, no, not astrology, but like horoscope type deals, just know horoscopes and astrology and stuff like that give false future. It is, because then if you don't get it, you get hurt, and it gives you false sense of hope, and that's how the enemy kind of leads you into a trap and may deceive you. Also, that's why you don't need to be going to people that give you fortune. Only God knows your plan. And if he tells somebody, that's different. But you have people that, will go through medium, not necromancy. So we're going to take that part out the verse. Now, here, let me explain something about this verse. I've done a teaching on it, but I ain't uploaded it yet. I don't know which one I'm going to upload first, so I'm just going to speak on it. When it comes to medium, that just means communication through television, radio, essentially to speak to the dead. Now, We're going to bring up a verse because I had a lot of people say, oh, the dead can't speak and this about the dead, this ain't possible. Let me break this down for you. I'm going to read the verse for y'all because I need y'all to understand how important this is because you're not reading it correctly. Now, it says, for the living know that they will die. We all know our flesh is going to die. We are all spiritual beings in the flesh. We do not battle bodies. We battle flesh. Or not flesh. We battle spirit. Okay? And people are spiritually led by evil or good, God or the enemy. Now, but the dead know nothing. Listen, that doesn't mean the dead doesn't know anything after they pass. Like, they don't know what happens on earth after they're gone. So they only know they have to account to the Son of Man, Jesus Christ, for what they've done. So you have to remember what you've done in order to respond to him during judgment. So it's not that you don't know nothing. It's just you don't know anything on earth after you've passed. And so when mediums go and ask people what is going to happen, there's no way they can possibly know. That means if you get an answer, something is, you don't know, it's dangerous. That method is dangerous because you don't know what is spiritually leading you. Now, never did it say it was impossible to speak to the dead because we are all spiritual beings. And if God is spiritually leading somebody, remember Matthew 19:26, but Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So if God works through you, all things are possible. So you can't say something is impossible if God is working through somebody. Does that make sense to y'all? Because then you saying you're neglecting that verse. So I had to make that clear to people. It is possible because the dream that I had was I was in my room, out literally having an outer body experience. I was asleep. My bed was on the right, and I knew I was over there. God didn't let me see my body though, because he didn't want me to focus on that. But I knew my bed was over there. God was on the left because I could see that bright light presence, and then Twitch was in front of me. I could not look to my left or my right. I only could look in front of me. And Twitch said, "Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping save people's lives." And he said, I know this is scary, but then he goes to say bafflement, 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 letting me know earlier on, and when I first began to do this, that bafflement was the key, what I just explained to y'all. That's what he was trying to point the attention to, nothing else, just bafflement. And my very first video on Twitch's case, God had told me the details on how he passed, but that's not important. It's not important. He told me, he said Ellen and bafflement. Ellen and bafflement. So now people are using these methods to blame Twitch's wife. So if you see certain people using certain methods and titling videos, she was a handler, but God sitting up here straight up told me when I asked him, he said, no, she did not know he was leaving the house and going to a meeting. I never said that she didn't know anything about the Illuminati and stuff. I don't know what she knows about that, nor did God care to give me details about what she knows about that particularly, or what she knew after, because she did not kill him. She didn't know, and this is the exact words he told me. She did not know that he was gonna go, and he didn't tell her because if he knew if he would have told her, she would have talked him out of it. So she did, so that would mean she probably most likely frantically called. Now, as far as the other stuff, I can tell you definitely something is going on where she is what you call it? It's like she being manipulated. Like, I'm gonna explain that after the dream. Hold on. I have rejected, so he's talking about these spiritual methods of the Lord. He says, I have rejected this, but people are pushing it forcefully. So like, people are still pushing the narrative that she did something, and you're distracting people from the main points that I've been bringing up in this video. She's now becoming the main topic as of late, as the media begins to pull her out there and the things she says. And the Lord says judgment is coming. So for people that's doing that. Now, one person I do want to mention that has not been doing that, and I know it's spiritually led by God, because I have a whole video coming out about a teaching on those particular verses that God gave to me. And it was about Candace Starr. It's a very good message towards Candace Starr, because Candace Starr is spiritually led by God. She has the faith in God, so she's not believing in the method. She's believing in God. Because she has that faith in God, she's being protected and spiritually led to the truth, if that makes sense. Where other people may not be, they're not, because just listen to. So yes, this is a warning to be careful who you listening to, because not everybody got the same stuff going on. She's not accusing the wife. She still has questions about it. So she's using the similar methods to other people, but she's spiritually led by God, where other people would just believe that, they're not even seeking God for confirmation whatsoever. Big difference, and it's going to lead to false narratives. I just want to point that out. So I know I've had a few people come and tell me about Candace Starr. There's a reason why our messages sound similar, because we are both being spiritually led by God. If you watch her and you watch what I'm saying and whatever, a lot of this stuff is going to probably sound similar. We both are not coming after the wife, because we're not being spiritually led to that information. God already told me that she did not have involvement in his death. Her knowledge of the Illuminati, that's a different story. Her knowledge after his passing, that's a different story. The enemy is playing people for a fool, because what he's doing is he's like leading you. Now he knows he's using what people are saying and pushing that narrative through the media. People are creating that narrative of the wife and distracting from the big picture. What is in our White House? The children are being caught up in all this satanic mess. Our president is not even the person he once was, or it's not even him. Excuse me, it's not even him. So this is the big picture here. He playing people for a fool and distracting you from all the truth being exposed. Okay? So the media is now focused on her. And that's when the Lord said the destruction of the truth. Now, because people are looking towards her direction, now the truth is going to be further buried and covered by narratives that the enemy is allowing or capitalizing off of from other people. I hope y'all understand, like, he's very clever. The big picture is what Twitch saw, not his wife. She's not the big picture. She's not. She's not. Okay? She is not. And the whole point of this whole Twitch thing, another big point, in this world, God is the back burner. He's on the back burner. Because based off my other video, you know, a lot of people are just not spiritually awakened, or they don't even think that God would allow people in these last days to send out warnings and use people to expose the truth. They don't even, but he said people are gonna see, you know? And one thing about it, you got to think about it. This is where it comes to Ellen. And I'm not saying that God told me this is, y'all gotta understand. Ellen has had people pass away and knows how to talk and deal with the media. And all her responses are always, like for Ann, she just walked, she said when they broke up, she just walked out the door and I never saw her again. That's all I know. No, that's a lie. You manipulative. And Heshy said she cared about money. Ellen cared about money more than a relationship. And she would lie and say she loved her, but she wasn't giving her the time of day. That's manipulative. And then when she got left, Ellen blackballed her from the Hollywood scene. What'd that tell you? That's a manipulative human being. So if you walk away or you don't accept something, bye. Okay? So then you got to think Ellen reached out to Allison and asked her, I can't imagine this. I can't imagine what it feels like for you and your children, you know, and just get to talking to her and being like, because she know how to deal with the media, you know, and the one that probably brought up the conspiracy theories was Ellen. She says, you know, and then people are just, because the enemy, remember, spiritually led, he already know what people saying. So she probably like, to Allison, and people are just coming up with all these conspiracy theories. It's just terrible, and they won't let you grieve. So then it pisses her off, and then she made a post about it. So, Allison clapping back, talking about conspiracy theories. So to me, just using my eyes based off how Ellen responds to other things, it seems like she's manipulating how Allison is going about things. That's what it seems like. And she's getting caught up for what she's doing and how she's responding to things. Because she got, and it's all done on purpose. Ellen don't give a rat's you know what about that woman. She's manipulating her, man. Because if God told me that she didn't know that he left, then that means she was probably trying to ask questions. And if you don't know what happened, then instead of threatening her, how about you manipulate? Because the enemy will manipulate people into believing that something is right. He will disguise himself as a peacemaker and a angel of light to deceive you. And so now, you know, she probably listening to that, Ellen, and she getting caught up in lies. But don't y'all think that I told y'all the enemy doing it on purpose to play off of a fool? That's all that's going on. To set the wife up and get her put in mainstream media to be looking bad. That's all it is. And now everybody focused on the wife. But ain't nobody thinking about the fact that Baphomet is the key. He was killed, Twitch was killed because of the sacrificial idol, satanic idol, and then it was put up in a White House as a response to what Twitch had said and showing that the enemy is in power in the White House. And ain't nobody talking about the fact we got 2 Bidens. So what is the game going on here, as the real Biden would say? What's the game going on here? I see it with my eyes. Do you? I would hope you do. What's the game going on here? Biden told everybody, the American people need to wake up. He said this years ago. So why is everybody sleeping? When people will watch videos over and over and over again, but will not even look at what's right in front of them, because that's the way that what is called the Matrix got people transformed into this lie, this delusion of a world that God did not intend to be this way. You read the word of God, you look at the world is the Antichrist. And then you can still get those people that say something is a conspiracy, but you got 2 Bidens on the screen. We need to build spiritual glasses. I'm gonna pray for some spiritual glasses. Put your hands, y'all. Whoever got faith in God and on some real, okay. Put your hands together, and we need to pray for some spiritual glasses, because we need to put them on brothers and sisters so they can see what the real deal is up in here. Because what's the game going on? And why are we not talking about this? This is the main point of Twitch's case. And you're not going to hear other people talk about it the way that I do, because, again, people are just going at it from opinion. People just going at it using certain spiritual methods that are not led by God. And I already, you know, I'm not saying that it's everybody, but I'm just saying most people. If you titling videos after Ellen's and Twitch's wife. Because God told me she ain't had no involvement in the murder. People ain't thinking she could just be manipulated. Y'all gotta understand, when celebrities sign contracts, They don't read the fine print. It's not you sell your soul, y'all. It is language up in there that you need an attorney and all that for. That's why they tell you, get an attorney, make sure you have a lawyer to read through so you can understand terminology. They don't, they just want to make it. And then when they end up finding out, it's not, and people make the misconception that it's too late to get pulled out. A lot of people say Twitch got to be in hell because of this and this. I'm going to explain to you. God was letting me know in that dream, when I told you I had that out-of-body dream, he was with God. And the reason you can see, God is fair. You can stand up against something. When you sign like contracts, that don't literally mean the devil had your soul, but you are contracted to evil. You can break away from that. The only time you don't you can't break away will be when the mark of the beast system arises and you accept it, and you will know because they will make you do it or kill you during that great tribulation time after the rapture. So understand that you can be saved until Jesus comes back at any point, and we need to start waking up and fighting back, because if we God's children and God made this creation for us, then we need to stand up for this creation and we need to fight back against these agendas. Because you people, it's this conspiracy theory stuff, y'all ain't seeing what is in plain sight. The devil ain't even hiding no more. Balenciaga with teddy bears, we love Satan. Do you see these children don't even know what's happening to them? But ain't nobody saying nothing about it. It's only a few people really making YouTube videos about that. But now we get Twitch's case and everybody want to act like they know what they saying. If you ain't spiritually led by God in these last days, you will be so gone, it's not even funny. All right? Do y'all catch what I'm throwing at you? Please tell me you do. I done threw about five pitches at you over the past coming week or previous week. Did y'all catch what I threw? Have y'all been catching what God been throwing in the spirit, trying to tell you? It's a lot going on right now. We shifting in a new season. It's dangerous out here. Wake up. Joe Biden, please end this video for me.
You know, think about this. The world's going to Hades in a handbasket. We are desperately concerned about the circumstance relating to avian flu. We don't have enough vaccines. We don't have enough police officers. And we're going to debate the next 3 weeks, I'm told, gay marriage, a flag amendment, and God only knows what else. I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here? And what's the game going on here?